Chainlink price update starting off on the daily chart. Then we're going to zoom out to the 3-day and even the weekly. We had a Gaussian channel in the background and moving averages, key support zones, and resistance zones. So here we go. The 200 EMA is our critical spot we need to flip to really start gaining traction for the bulls. That is around the 1530 mark, right? 200 EMA in the pink, right? Pink text, pink line, right? Hopefully you can put those two together and you've passed kindergarten. 21 EMA, our spot that we're at right now. The yellow line, yellow text, yellow line. Again, we made it as batshit simple as possible. So those are the critical levels, right? We rejected there yesterday at the 21 EMA, did not close above it. We must close, right? Closing prices are in the blue, right? You put it on a line chart, that's the closing, removes all the noise. We got to get above there. At today's close, tomorrow's close, whenever's close. Tomorrow is a national holiday in the US, 4th of July. Might not be that much price action, okay? If we come down again for Chainlink, no big deal. We've been here many times. So don't panic. What I'd like to see is if we move higher to the 21 EMA or the 200, we got to get above there to really start gaining traction again. But what we want to see is if we see a price surge up, a green candle, you must see the volume. So we have their volume down here at the bottom. You can see we have a nice cluster over the last 4 days or so, but all still below the average. That blue line is the average. What do we want to see? Why do we want to see that? If we see volume, well, look at the last time. Sustainable rallies often have breakout volume. Look how high these buy volumes were. Much higher than average, right? Nice big green candles. You want to see that with the candles and the volume, okay? So that's what we're looking for. Otherwise, the likelihood of us coming down here is still probably a little bit higher than going up, right? Especially if we don't get that volume confirming. We're in this little bit of a downtrend, right? You could argue that is a kind of a flagpole. And this kind of move here is more often bearish than not, right? So we may very well come back into this box again, but fear not. Right? Again, like we said, we've been here many times. This shouldn't shock you. Patience is needed. And if you're in Chainlink, right, we know all about patience if you're in Chainlink. Looking at steps to climb up the stairs, that's what we're looking at. Love to see a reversal here, but this time might just be a repeat of last time. 3 hits down in here. We have really 1. Maybe you could argue 2. Maybe we get a 3rd over here sometime within the next 7 to 10 days. Or maybe we get our 2nd hit, right? This might just be this part. Another move up, right? We might just be doing something like that. Okay, so we're prepared if we do that. What are our steps to the low side? Where do we not want to cross? I'm glad you asked. Step 1 would be there, 1350, that low. Step 2, right, is that low. You don't have to make it more complex than that. And we're looking at, again, closes. I don't care if we wick lower, but closing prices, this would be more important than obviously this one, this $13 level, right? We made a low here, about the same low, and we made a slightly lower low, right? That doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It could be like a kind of a bear trap here. We come back up, kind of sweep these lows, put in a deviation here, and then just like we did back here, just slightly lower low, sweep the lows just ever so slightly, and then we're off to the races again. And this could happen for Bitcoin as well. So you want to be aware of that. If Bitcoin sweeps like 58, 57K again really quickly, could be a trap. And I think that's the favorable odds here. So we want to be continuous to stack on red days. Most coins are down today. Chainlink up ever so slightly as of right now. 1450. Again, our most critical level, 21 EMA. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. Let's go to the 3-day. Okay, we can switch these around, right? 200 is not here anymore. That's our 21 EMA. So let's lengthen that a little bit. 21 EMA right up there. This is on the 3-day chart. Still key moving averages. The 200 days way the hell down here. That is going to be a key pivot level. We don't want to be going below. So you can see that is still in our range low zone box, right? So still key structure. We don't want to go back below 13. The 200 EMA on the 3-day chart is also known as the 600 SMA. Okay, we don't want to be messing with 600 day. EMA, excuse me. 600 day, right? 3-day chart, 200, 3 times 2. Kindergarten, remember? We already passed kindergarten. We got the colors. So those are key moving averages again. 21 EMA is all the way up at 1530. Same level that we just looked at on the daily chart, which was the 200. Remember, key pivot level. This is it. We get back above here. Then our next pivot level becomes $17 area, right? Which we gave up right here, which is why Chainlink, why is Chainlink orange? We flipped to orange when we started closing back below here, but we'll get more on that on the weekly chart. We also want to note that the Gaussian channel here has just flipped red here in the past handful of days. So we need to flip that back green. It wouldn't take a lot, right? We just really get back above this zone and we can flip this back to green. 3-day chart can have some fake outs. So not as big a deal as, like, say, the 5-day or the weekly. Range lows, still above the 200 EMA. A-okay if we go back down to 13. We don't want to close below 13. Burn that in your brain. Okay, 21 EMA there. Now let's pivot and go to the higher time frames. Now we can start to see the macro picture on Chainlink. The 200, not here anymore. Still down here. There you go, a little bit lower. This would be bad. This would be really bad if Chainlink goes back under here. Why is that? I'm glad you asked. Well, namely, you don't want to ever be touching a 200-week moving average in a bull run. 2, that's below our weekly median Gaussian channel. Bad. And 3, that would also breach like the 100 EMA where we have held all the way back from April, late April, May, right? Held, test. We have 4 touches on that blue 100 EMA, and it's held perfectly every time. And also, it's formed our range low zone, which we've had even more touch points in this zone. It would violate all that. So we don't want to even be sniffing around here. That'd be real bad. 21 EMA. This is the most important chart, the most important moving average on the weekly to the high side, the 21 EMA, and the yellow, again, 1555. That also starts to get into our range high zone, where we flipped resistance here, tried to hold it as support. That's what we needed to really do, and we didn't. So again, when we get back to it, probably going to be resistance. We need to flip that back to support if we want to see, new highs for Link. And once we flip that to support, you can bet your flannel that you're going to see some new local highs once that holds as support, 17 area. That's what we're looking for. Again, look at the declining volume. You can see the average here. We can get rid of the Gaussian channel. We don't need that right now. The volume. See how it's declining as prices are declining? That's what you want to see, right? If prices are falling, you don't want to see increasing volume to the red side. That's a recipe for a disaster to the downside. As prices are falling or trying to hold support, you want low volume. Certainly after consolidation, right? Long-term consolidation. That's what we're looking for. So to break out, if we want to see, price starts being above 1550 area, $17 area, we get back in this area, we want to see a green bar above that blue line, above average buy, just like we did kind of right here. See that? Just slightly above average buy volume. Those are what you want to see when you see these big reversals. Big buy volume. See this back here from October? Exactly. All right. Hopefully this helps a little bit. Ease your mind. Any questions on Chainlink? What else do you want to see? I'm all ears. We're going to do a live stream later today. So if you're watching this between now and then, check it out. Be around 2 or 3 Eastern time. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully you can join us. If not, you can watch it back later. We'll do a bunch of altcoins requests there. If you want more content, want more help from me personally, consider subscribing through Patreon. We do a lot of extra stuff in there. That's linked below. And if not, then I'll see you in a bit. We'll go to our quote and card of the day and then wrap it up. Give me liberty or give me death by Patrick Henry. One of the most famous quotes of all time. If you haven't heard it, you're just not out of kindergarten yet, right? You failed the color test already. All right, over to car of the day. The 1955 Mercedes SL300, the most epic works of art on wheels. There you go. Gold wing doors from the 50s. Get out of town. Blue. I didn't even know they made this color. Maybe it's not factory color, but I mean, caught my eye on the Google search there. And Another one that caught my eye, right? The sunset. Great looking picture there. Last but not least, holy hell. Someone restored it. This is called a resto mod. If you didn't know that, right? If you're not into cars, resto mod, what the hell does that mean? You restore it and then you mod it. Modifications. So it's got HRE wheels on there, custom offset. Like, look at the dish in the back. Wow. Look at the exhaust. If you missed that, that's the exhaust. I bet this thing sounds obnoxiously loud. Yellow interior. Let's just keep zooming in and out and give you a headache. I don't know what the doors do. They don't look factory, right? But this is probably the coolest resto mod I've seen in a long time. SL300, slammed to the ground, tucked in, wide body, wheel flares. Lots of custom work here. I'd say probably 100K in customs. On top of the car that's already hundreds of thousands already, right? If you want to get one of these nicely put together. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Need that in the model car to add to my collection. If someone makes this, gotta pick one up. Alrighty, I'll see you on the live stream or on the next video. Appreciate you watching this long. If you have a great 4th of July if you're in the US, and if not, have a great Thursday.